So like, wouldn't it be cool? I'd just love to just walk around and just chat with you individually and say, hey, what was you thinking about? Like, what was you thinking about when he's laying there dying? I think I'd be curious to see, more than curious, I think I'd be interested in your story. It'd blow my mind. The grandmas or granddads or spouses or children, or what goes through your mind. That's one of my favorite songs. Ben for Jane knows. I just freak. It's cool. I think about it's my dad. And his best friend, Calvin Miles. Calvin said, George, I'll probably die before you do. Because my dad was messed up with Parkinson's disease. Calvin got the sugar. That messed you up. I think that was a few years back. I think it messed you up more. I remember going over to see him. They took off a leg, took off an arm. He could see out of one eye still. And my daddy went over there and him just asking a million questions. Asking my daddy all kinds of questions. And my dad trying to talk with his Parkinson's disease. I was sitting there looking at my old man, just cracking up and crying at the same time. Him shaking. Calvin, his memory's unbelievable. And then, it's all my daddy ever talked about when he was getting bad shape was all those good times. I don't know. What do you think about? I was thinking the other song I like a lot is that one that says, if you got a chance, take it. Like, I love what Rojas said. All I wanted was a shot. You might have heard me say that once or twice. If you got a chance, take it. When you look back, what are you going to be thinking about? What am I going to be thinking about? And I start thinking about, if it was today, I know I'd be thinking about. But if it was 5 years from now, would I be thinking about something different? If I got granted 5 more years, what would I be thinking about? And then I'm trying to get in quadrant 2 to plan and schedule those things that I want to be thinking about 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Life's crazy. The mind game we play. I don't know if you guys were not here at the last convention. My favorite character that Mark did prior to this was the prisoner. And I was like, what is this going to be about? And he just kept talking about getting out of prison. And I kept going to Shawshank Redemption. What would you do? Like, I got one of my value system is I have priority of things I want to do and things I don't want to go. Going to jail is one on my don't go list. Because I don't think I would be great at escaping. And anyway, just life's crazy. It just comes at you. And your ability to be ready, I try to describe it to people. You need to be kind of like a linebacker, defensive back. You need to be ready because things are going to change on you in a split second, and you don't need to be caught off guard. So let me get ready for this. This lady has had deposited in her account so far this year, 81 days into the year. January, is that possible? It's more than that. January, February, March. She has deposited, how many days is that? Do my math on it. She has been deposited $335,644 in 3.5 months. I'm going to let her tell you a story, but we went from dying to printing cash. Just like that. So let's get her out. Y'all get on your feet. Let's change your mood, change your attitude. In the house, Megan, the woman Wood. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that
Oh my
amazing?
gosh. That's amazing. You did
Love
it.
it. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm fired
Listen
up.
to this. Listen to this. Hold on. Stay standing. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Get your mind right. All right. We don't know us be laying down in the bed. We're thinking now. We ready. What's your goals this year? Income, personal production, personal income, override income. What you shooting for?
So my goals this year is 1,500,000 with my own pen, and my team doing over 3 million. So fired up.
Boom. Boom.
And we're
So-
projected to do that. So
It is on track.
it is on track. We're gonna kill it.
So, all right, y'all grab a seat now. But here we go. Let's see, you back up too. Let's chill for a minute.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Tell everybody, were you highly recruited? Like everybody, you ranked 5-star recruit, everybody knew you, calling you. How did you get in? What's the story? What position were you in life, and how did you get involved in this business?
So I was a single mom. I was a waitress for 13 years. I started at the age of 17. So I spent like half my life there. I was always a saver, so I saved up enough money at my waitressing job to put a down payment on my home for me and my little boy. And I tried to get coverage multiple times in the past, and I was declined because of health issues that I had. And I knew how important it was to have coverage because I had been at the point of death. So I just wanted to make sure that my son would be taken care of if something were to happen to me. And I got this paper in the mail that said it would pay off my mortgage if I sent it in. And so I didn't really think anything of it, but I sent it in, and a woman called me about a week later, and she came over to my house, and she helped me out. And the most important thing she said at the end was, "Do you know anybody that would like to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a week, even part-time?" And I'm like, I don't know if I know anybody, but I would love to. Like, I don't know if I'm what you're looking for. I don't have a college background, but literally, this is what you do. You sit on the porch, hang out with somebody, and you make money doing this? It's crazy. So I'm like, sign me up. But what I found was an opportunity that not only changed my life, it saved my life. Thank you. And it saved my son's life because he can have a mom that isn't addicted to negative things, but is addicted to positive things and helping people. So I am truly grateful to be here.
So I've been working with Megan several years now and watching her. She's been #1 producer by far and away in the country. But one of the things that's blew my mind is her humbleness. She is not an I person at all. It's not I, it's always the team. Like, how many times in the beginning when you were talking, I think of Mike and Noel, you dealt with a lot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tell everybody what they did and how much effort and energy.
Yeah. I mean, they put up with a lot because I was not always the easiest. Like, I would call them about 30 times a day. And I was determined. So, like, if Mike didn't answer, I was calling Noel. So I would just picture them, like, having dinner, and I'm just blowing up both of their phones to get my questions answered. But they were there for me because I wanted to win. So, like, every time, like, I went into a home, I would call. If I left the home, got back in my car, and I didn't help the family, I'm calling. Like, what did I do wrong? And what can I change to be better? Because clearly, if you're not helping somebody, it's because you're not doing something. So
it's safe to say you would never be one that holds on to the dynamite.
no.
You get rid of it quick.
Right.
And point to the team.
Yeah.
I love that about you. It's so endearing.
Thank you.
And of course, they don't have to be patient with you at all now, right? Everything's just perfect.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, just want to be clear. Just want to be clear. They don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to be patient at all. It's just, so when you get your agents that are in a lot of trouble in the beginning.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Like, I would call Mike crying. Like, I just don't know if I can do this. Like, it was hard for me. I would say one of the things that was most difficult for me was learning to be the parent in the room to 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds. Like, clearly they've been here longer than me. But just learning to lead people with what I wanted them to do. So I just obsessed about it.
How old's your little boy now?
He's going to be 8 at the end of this month, April 27th.
And from when you contracted and you're licensed, how old was he?
He was 2.
2. So you've now been associated with us 6 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, this will be my 6th year. Mm-hmm.
So, so in the beginning, you were a waitress at
Applebee's. Yeah.
And you were the kind of waitress that knew all your customers what they drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'd bring them a drink without asking.
Right.
Just bring it over, margarita, whatever mixed drink. If it was ginger ale, you knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ordered their food before I even went to the table. It's a waitress memory is what I had. I remembered everything about the people that came in.
You were obsessed with your clients.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So when you got involved and they're saying buy $500 worth of leads or $1,000 worth of leads, you were not on board.
No, I was not excited about it. So I was one that would put $5 in her gas tank every day. So
Why does it do that?
Why? Because that was plenty of gas for me to go to work and home. Because I never wanted to have a full tank of gas, because if a deer hit me on my way home, I just wasted $20. That would be the most ridiculous
Pure genius.
Yes, thank you.
I have some agents that are that smart also. Does anybody else have agents that smart? That's genius. But she said she was able, how much deposit did you, you said, saved up enough money as a waitress, single mommy with a little boy. How much deposit? Do you remember how much you saved up?
I put down $30,000 on my house.
How much were you making a year?
That's because I wasn't putting the extra money in my gas tank. That's how I did it.
So how did you sell in the beginning? What did you do? How did you transition from margarita to premium finance, or how did you transition to final expense, or what did you say?
So I think it's important to know that I had goals being a waitress as well. So my goal every night when I was there is I cannot leave the restaurant without making $100. On the weekends, I cannot leave the restaurant without making $200 on a Saturday night. So just becoming obsessed with my goals, I was even doing it then. But because I built relationships with my customers, it was easy to talk about what I was doing because I was excited about it. I was their friend, not just their waitress.
So I picture you sliding in beside them. You got a husband or a boyfriend, a girlfriend. You slide in beside them. And what do you say? Like, guess what?
Yeah, guess what I'm doing?
That's what you say. Guess what I'm doing?
I'm trying to get out of this place, Yeah, I mean, like I'm taking my test. I'm going to do this insurance thing. I'm super excited about it. By the way, do you guys have coverage for one another if something were to happen to you?
Right in the restaurant. You just...
Yeah, right in the restaurant. And then I would book an appointment. So I'm like, awesome. So I have Wednesday off. So is afternoons or evenings typically better for you? Oh my gosh, I get to see your house. That is so exciting.
That's what I was thinking. It's like you've never been to these people's house before in your life.
No.
You've only served them
I'm
drinks
their
and chips.
Applebee's girl, right?
Your Applebee's girl is coming to our house.
I am so excited. I've always wanted to see your dog because they show me pictures, right? So it's like make a reason to go, right? So, I mean, I know about them because I've built a relationship with them.
Did you get any pushback? Like, you're an Applebee's girl. You can't be our insurance person. Ever.
No, because they loved me.
They loved you.
It's
because you knew their drink.
Right. So you just upsell them. So, like, I was doing that then. So if I got your drink order and you wanted a Jack and Coke, I'm like, do you want a double? It's 75 cents more. And if you said no, I'd be like, I will pay the 75 cents if you want a double. Like, I mean.
So how much was the base drink?
Let's just say like $6.
So base drink is $6, double 75 cents.
$6.75.
If you don't want to get it, I'll buy it for you.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
It's crazy. Like, I'll give
and
you
I'm guessing
$3.
And I'm guessing you never paid.
No.
Because they were like, oh, yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, just like the more you sold, the bigger your tip was, right?
Aha. Now I understand what's going on in the restaurants.
So I'm upselling. That's right. You think I care that you have a double.
You did care.
I did, but not for another reason. You know what I mean?
So how did you transition into leads? Were they relentless? Did you do leads before you went full time? What got, because, and the first question is, were they relentless? Like, you got to start doing this. You got to take advantage of this.
Yes, I mean, they were, but they started investing in me and taught me how to invest in myself. So that was a huge thing for me because the first time I heard about it, I'm like, $25 for a piece of paper? Are you kidding me? I put $5 in my gas tank. Like, what do you mean? But they started investing in me, and I helped out. Like, for the first 6 months, I was just selling to my customers that were coming into Applebee's. And then I started running out of people. So I'm like, okay. Mike's like, I think it's time that you try some of the leads. And I'm like, oh. I freaking guess so. I mean, like, but, my first house that I went to, I got the door slammed in my face, kicked out, got back in the car, called Mike, and I'm like, you're never gonna believe what happened. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure, right? So I told him, and he just starts laughing. I'm like, this is funny? I'm like, I hope all the leads aren't like this, But I went to my second house. And so that's what I think is important too, Andy. It's like, don't quit. And I was already used to that. Like, I was used to people getting mad at me about their food not being right. People getting mad at me because the cooks messed up in the back. Like, I was used to it. So I went to my second house, and they were the best clients that you could imagine. They call me their daughter. So, like, that made up for the door being slammed in my face, but I never would have met those clients if I was too scared and quit. So there's more good in this world than what there is bad. You just got to fight for the good ones.
That's your value. You
That's
believe
right.
that to be true.
I do, 100%. 100%, yes.
So fast forward, she has had deposited $335,000. January, February, March. Huh? 112 days. Do the math on that. Do 335,000 divided by 112. I just want to see how much she's making per day. Do you know how much you're making per day?
Per day?
$2,991 a day. And that includes Saturdays and Sundays. So Sundays, she gets paid $2,991. Saturdays, $2,991. Not a bad program.
Even when I'm here? And
Yes,
in Florida?
counting when you're here. I saw you selling over there. I was like, I told Jessica, I said, look at her. She's selling one right now. She's closing.
It's so light.
So what is some of the fun stuff you've done with the money?
I got some diamonds that I'm super
noticed
excited
that.
about. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of diamonds now.
Did you buy that Rolex?
No, sir. I won this Rolex. That's right. I'm wearing $30,000 on my wrist. I
You got
used
a
to make
Toyota.
that. Huh?
You got a Toyota on your wrist.
That's right. But not only that, it used to take me a year to make that at Applebee's. So I made $30,000 a year at Applebee's. And now I wear it on my wrist.
This
It's
is
freaking
so
crazy.
You've worked. So in 3.5 months, it would be like you've worked 11 years. 11 years of work crammed into 3.5 months.
Yeah. It's just crazy. And I'm super
It
thankful.
is crazy. Think that crazy.
It's amazing.
And amazing.
Yeah.
So I get this all the time. Like, how does she do it? So, like, here's one thought for you. Like, how many applications do you sell a week?
So normally it's around like 150 to 175. But my goal, Andy, is it's a day. So like I can't go home until I do 20 apps a day is my goal. It used to be, but I think it's important to know that like I increase my goals all the time. It used to be 5 apps. It used to be 10 apps. It used to be 15. So I'm just constantly thinking about ways that I can do as much as possible with the amount of time that I have.
So I don't expect y'all to have this number. She has sold, as of April 19th, she has issued 1,146 applications. 1,146 applications.
Hey,
For list the issue paid. Do this. Belle, do my math. 468,000 divided by 1146. I'm thinking 360. $408 per app. So it's not like she's selling $1 million policy and 2 $400,000 policies. She's selling a lot of policies. You gonna say something?
yeah, so I remember, I don't think it was last year. It might have been last year. But it was in 6 months, I wrote 1,000 apps and I hit a record and I was up here on the stage. Remember?
Mm-hmm. I do.
I think that was last year.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it was last year.
And
so
now
now I'm over my goal and we haven't hit the 6 months mark. So I'm fired up for that. Like,
So let's be clear. We love all premium, okay? We love all premium. Insurance carries all premium. If you're writing the average case is $15,000 and you've written 10 so far this year, we love that. But let me explain something to you. The carriers and us love app count because it's hard to lose. If she loses a case, it's 0.1%. If you're writing 15,000 and you lose a case and you've only written 10 cases at 15,000, but you're like, it's 150,000, that's 10% of your production. You see what I'm saying? So the risk is way less. There's a lot more work, but there's way less risk. There's always a balance about it. So the carriers absolutely love Megan Wood, and they are like, Mike and Noel, find another one just like her. So let's talk about, how do you sell 20 a day? And I almost need to, so you've gradually picked it up. When you were buying leads and trying to get your client base, do you know how many clients you got?
I have almost 4,000 clients.
Almost 4,000 clients. So when you were trying to build it up, how many leads were you purchasing a week? Or how many dollars worth?
I mean, I started getting like, my beginning, I was doing like 5 a week. Then I increased it to 10 a week. And now.
Say it again now. How much?
5 a week.
5
and then
leads.
I was doing 5 leads a week. Then I was doing 10 leads a week. And I believe right now I'm getting about 20 leads a week.
Okay. So 20 leads at what, $50 a piece? So
Yeah, I mean, we can
$1,000?
say that. Yeah, I'm doing about $1,500.
About $1,500 a week is what you're putting into leads.
Yes,
On top of your 4,000 clients.
correct.
So, and are you, in the beginning, did you book appointments and do door knocks?
Yes, so I did dials, booked my appointments, and door knocks as well if they weren't home and I had more time.
Do you use a Route for Me or any app like that? Which one do you
Yeah,
use?
so I was using Road Warrior and then I switched to Route for Me.
Okay.
I like it better because you can put in the address, right? Hit optimize. But the reason why I like it better is because I can type in the client's name. So my staff organizes my leads for me, and it's not a pain in the butt because you can just organize them by the names of the people.
So it was a pain in the butt for you, but does your staff ever complain about organizing your leads for you? Or are they happy to do it?
They're happy to do it.
That's a nice switch from you complaining to them happy to get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Just think about the emotions. You go from making somebody happy on something that you hated. That's a flip from somebody dying in a bed to a person that's going to make 1.5 million, just like that. And it's just a decision away. Hiring staff, were you like, hey, let me hire 6 or 7 staff, Mike and Noel, do you mind? Or were they pushing you to hire staff?
They were pushing me. Yeah, so when I hired my first staff, like...
Were you like, I ain't spending that? You want me to pay another human being?
Yeah, I was terrified.
You want me to pay a person?
Like, right. So it's like, oh God, now I'm going to have to work twice as hard because I'm not sure if I can pay this person. Like, give it a shot, see what happens. But
Is the first person you hired, were they great?
no, God, it was terrible. Like, it was a nightmare. You have an idea, but like a lot of you, it's like, I thought like there was something wrong with me. I'm like, what? Am I like a magnet for like, just people that don't want to work? Like, what is going on here? But I learned a lot in the hiring process, a lot of what I didn't want, and learned more of what I did want. And I have the best staff that I have ever had in my career. So I'm fired up about that.
Can you, yeah, give her a hand. Good job. Great staff. She's got, how many do you have? How many staff? What do you got?
I got a total of 5.
5. Can you see the pattern? Didn't want to do it, didn't understand, argued, fought it, did it. Woo! Okay, that's good. Okay, now that one's good. Didn't want to do it, against it, argued, taught, trained, did it. Woo, that's good. Now what's next? Now what's next? Now what's next? True that?
That's
It's
right.
just been a crazy cycle.
Yes.
So when did it occur to you the first time to think, why am I driving myself around? I could be working while I'm being driven around.
Yeah.
When did that occur to you? Did somebody suggest that, or did you hear somebody talking about it?
I did. You had mentioned something about getting a driver. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll try it, right?
I mean, I can text and talk on the phone while I'm driving. Why do I need to?
Right, and that's what I
Makes
was
no
doing.
sense. Exactly.
And I was fine.
Never been hurt.
no big deal.
Never hit anybody.
I got really good at driving with my knee.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Could you put lipstick
You
on
got
at the same time?
a bruise on your knee, like when it starts to form.
You ain't serious about driving while you're texting unless you got a callus on your knee.
That's right, 100%. And I did. It's gone now, thank God. But But yeah, I mean, like, my
How much
thoughts was,
do you love it?
I freaking love it because it's not only am I able to do secondary sales, organize my stuff, you know, why I have a driver, but my driver is also learning while I'm doing secondary sales. But not only that, like, I'm always busy. I'm always on my phone. So if my staff in the office had a question, it was very difficult for them to reach me to answer their question. And now because I have a driver, my driver communicates with my staff. So they ask me a question because I'm sitting right next to them. And so I have to answer, right? So, so then they communicate that to my office, so I don't have to be on the phone with my office.
Because you're planning,
I'm on the phone with more clients.
Closing another deal. So Mike Levin told me something the other day. He said, Andy, she is the #1 phone, what do you call it, on the phone sales, not in person, in the country. Right now, people say, oh, would you think that's the greatest idea? Yes, if you have 4,000 clients, you've got to be doing that. The question is, how much is it costing you in leads that are wasted and you can't do it if you try to do it in the beginning? But when you got a client base, why would you not do that? I'm 100% for that. Second and third sales.
I would tell you half of my business is secondary sales. And it actually helps you keep the client because every time I talk to you, I'm building more of a relationship with you. But not only that, like, people's lives change so much, right? Either you just are turning 65 or you have a new grandbaby or somebody, your spouse is diagnosed with cancer, so now you're looking for cancer coverage. Like, people's lives change all the time, but you're not gonna know if you're not following up with your clients and doing secondary sales and talking to them.
Okay, how about this? How bad do you want to have 100 people show up at family reunion with you, or 10 or 20 or 50? Like, how bad do you want that edification? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a desire there?
Yeah, I mean, I would love that. I would love that because I feel like I owe it to people because literally the alliance has changed my life. So giving that opportunity to somebody else that wants it as bad as I did, like, and I could change their life, it's just amazing. Like,
isn't it
it's
crazy?
Rewarding.
Isn't it crazy how every skill you have to go through this screaming? So, like, getting width, it's another screaming contest. Getting depth, it's another screaming contest. Putting people together that stick together. True that?
Yes.
It's another, we've been telling you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we're good. So this one's, there's a million techniques you can get from her. This is one of my favorite ones. Tell them how you do a green sheet. Or in other words, how do you find how much money's left?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that quote?
So what I say is, if you were to die tomorrow, what does your family have? Do they have life insurance? Is it IRAs, annuities? Like, what do they have? So then I'm not like, hey, Andy, how much money do you have? Like, you know what I'm saying?
So that took all the pressure off of you.
Right.
Is not
if
saying how much money, how much money stocks or what's your IRA. It's what is your family going to get?
Right.
So you took the eyes off of you. You don't care.
Yeah. No.
You don't care about the money. You just care about the family that's left.
Right. 100%. Because it always made me feel really awkward, and they would look at me really awkward when I'm like, you got any IRAs, 401ks? What you got? And they're like, why do you need to know that? I'm like, well.
You answered the why now already with children.
Right, exactly.
It's 20 a day.
So it's changing the question around.
It's 20 sales a day. So if you work in 8 hours, it's 3 sales an hour. Yeah. It's pretty efficient, but dadgum doable. How about y'all get on your feet and give Megan Wood #1 in the country right now in issue paid premium, baby. Megan Wood!